Well, a big topic of discussion here in Broncos country has been, do the Broncos trade for Debo Samuel? Do they trade for Cooper Kupp? Should they trade for Garrett Wilson? Where should we draft a wide receiver in the draft? Do we look at T. Higgins? There's so many different options. And I think really we're overlooking somebody that may already be a solution on this roster. I think there's actually several that can be solutions, but there's one I want to highlight today. And we're going to break that down. And another thing that I'm going to talk about as well is wide receiver even that important in Sean Payton's offense if you look at it historically? So let's break it down. And guys, as always, if y'all love Denver sports, if you guys love NFL draft content, smash that subscribe button. It'll really, really help me out. I'm on a mission to get to 1,000. So give the subscribe a smashy and give the video a nice little thumbs up. All right. Well, in case y'all haven't even already been able to guess it, the guy that I'm talking about that's on this roster that didn't play for the Broncos last year, but is shown to be super talented is none other than A.T. Perry. 6'5", 205-pound receiver, and somebody that, listen, guys, he played in, it looks like, roughly 8-9 games in 2023 with the Saints. He had 18 targets, caught 12 of them, for 246 yards and 4 touchdowns. Super young player. Obviously, he was a 6th-round pick, I believe, coming out of Wake Forest back in 2023. He's like, 23 years old, ridiculously young, ridiculously talented player, and somebody that when you look at what a lot of the players have been talking about in the locker room and to a lot of the media, they've been saying A.T. Perry's been running a lot with the ones, especially later on in the year, and he was, quote-unquote, dusting people. Those are some of the reports that I've seen. So he's looked super good, and he's someone that you already know Sean Payton loves him because Sean Payton loves his big body receivers. He never had a chance to coach him, obviously, in New Orleans, but Pete Carmichael did. He's on the staff. Joe Lombardi kind of, was talking about how he felt like he was a really good player too. But Pete Carmichael is somebody that came from the Saints during that time that really pounded the table for a player like him. And I think he's going to get a fresh, clean slate to come into Denver and be able to ball out hard. And while we do that, guys, let's break down a little bit of film. Let's talk about what can A.T. Perry do, right? Because, he was compared a lot to Tim Patrick coming out of Wake Forest. That was just kind of like what a lot of analysts in the draft compared him to. Big body guy, but he can move. He can really move for somebody his size. So let's take a look, guys. He's going to be at the bottom of the screen here. He's number 17, all right? And just to give you an idea here, I forgot the name of this particular corner. He does go up against AJ Terrell in another one, but he absolutely torched this dude the whole day. But look at the kind of weapon that he can be in the red zone. I mean, dude, like faking that slant inside, utilizing the body strength, boom, go out, create separation, put the guy on his ass, wide open touchdown, easy peasy. Here's another one here. We're going to let it run and we'll talk about it. I love this play. I mean, you see him absolutely moss the dude. Now, Jameis Winston did a terrible job, and then the shocker here, he was the quarterback at this particular time. But you can see when you pause it, look how open A.T. Perry is at the top of the screen. He's wide open. Dude's just waving his hand, waiting, still don't go. But the ball ultimately gets thrown, and he just goes up there, man, and he gets it, dude. He really, really just snags that ball out of the air. Special type of talent, for real. I mean, he really is, especially when you look at his college career in the draft at Wake Forest as well. All right, let's take a look at another one here. Bottom of the screen. I mean, a beautiful little route. He runs a deep, deep, deep post. I don't even think this thing's meant to go to him. But as you'll be able to see here, runs the deep post, breaks it and keeps going. The separation there is amazing, by the way. Ball was thrown really late, and he just lays out there and flat out gets it, makes the plays. I don't know if he's not necessarily this like guy that always showed a lot in practice, or maybe he didn't vibe with the coach last year in New Orleans because they cut him really early into his career. But every time he seemed to get an opportunity, this dude was making plays. Let's watch a couple more of this because I feel like you can just see a lot of the traits that are really beloved. Just a strong going to the ball, right? I mean, this is a really solid route. This is on Oh man, I'm blanking on the name of the Giants corner, but he's I think Adoree Jackson. I think this is who this one was on. But nice little stop route, coming back to the quarterback, shielding off the body, getting yourself that first down. We got a few more here. I picked apart a lot of A.T. Perry because I was pretty intrigued by the kid. But bottom of the screen here again. Again, how many times do you see Cortland Sutton run that route? How many times have we seen, Troy Franklin run that route as well this year? He does it a little bit lazier, but A.T. Perry does a good job here, man. He's just a big-bodied guy. He comes up, gets the leverage, fakes the outside, boom. And there's a lot of nuances to those routes. They look easy, but there's a lot of nuances, and being able to get the corner there to turn his hips is really impressive. All right, we're coming down two more after this one. And this is just one-on-one, flat out, go get it. And you'll see it. I don't know if I have it at the other angle. I think I had it, but I didn't put it on here. Straight up one-handed catch. I mean, you could have sworn to God it was Cortland Sutton who made that play. Unbelievable. Just being able to go up there, make the catch. Guys, 12 catches in his career, 4 of them for touchdowns. I get it. Small sample size, but damn, he's out here making plays, man. Again, against that same corner against Atlanta. Just back shoulder fade all day. Huge body, and he uses his body shielding well. He uses the sideline, gets around back shoulder throw. You can't really do much about it when the guy is his size. And here's the last one. This is against AJ Terrell, top of the screen. Again, nice little hesitation. Ball goes up. Great body control. What I like about A.T. Perry from what I see, right? And like I said, guys, I'm going to preface again by saying 12 catches in his career. It's one season, 4 touchdowns. But he's somebody that, a lot of the times when you see a lot of these big receivers, they don't always play very big. And that's always really frustrating. He's not that. He absolutely plays very big, very much so. And he's somebody that I feel like has good body control. He brings a lot of energy. He always seems to be really pumped up, every time he's out there making plays. And, he was a preseason darling for the team as well in both of his seasons. Even this past year with the Saints in the preseason, he tore it up. His rookie season, I mean, he was absolutely torching people. And, does that really mean much? Not really, but it helps get an understanding of when he's playing up against competition that you feel like, you should be dominating against, and you go out there and dominate. That's always a good thing. And here's a couple more things that I feel like are really impressive that I found to be really intriguing. So I'm going to go ahead and share this first. Let's take a look at A.T. Perry's combine numbers when he was coming out. All right. 6'3.5", 198 pounds. So solid, right? I mean, I think he weighs it at 205 now, but the impressive part about this kid is his 34.25-inch arms. That is technically long enough to be a tackle in this league. Very, very long, 9.25-inch hands, but a long receiver. When you're comparing him to somebody like a Cortland Sutton, right? Cortland Sutton was 6'3", 218. So maybe a little bit, tiny bit shorter, but a little bit heavier. 32.38-inch arms. And he's a very long receiver too, 9.75-inch hands. Now, the prospect grade that he was given here was a 6.3, which is under the category of will eventually be a plus starter. Guys, A.T. Perry was a 6.26 at an 81. So an 81 from Next Gen Stats versus an 84 over here on Cortland Sutton. So just something to keep tabs on. Am I saying he's Cort? No. But what I'm saying is that the talent is absolutely there. And then when you look at the production score, 80.79. When you look at Cortland's down over here, 81. And let's compare the combine numbers. All right. This is Cortland Sutton here. He ran a 4.54, had a 1.5 split, 35.5-inch vert. So pretty explosive, 10'4" broad jump, 6.573 cones, actually pretty good, and a 4.11 shuttle. Over here, same kind of thing. 1.59 split, 4.47 40. So his overall long speed was faster. His split was just a tiny bit slower, but he had better top end speed than what was shown by Cortland. He has the same vertical. He had a better broad jump, and he didn't ultimately do the 3-cone or the 20-yard shuttle or the bench press. So He really does. A lot of people, the big comparison was like Tim Patrick from a lot of people. I really see a lot of Courtland Sutton in his game, man. I think he's somebody that's really, really good. So keep your tabs out on that. If you were going to ask me today, Mark, who's going to be the Broncos wide receiver 2 next year, the guy that's going to be able to step up, is he on this roster? I'd say, hell yeah, he's on this roster. And his name is Marvin Mims. No doubt about it. I've been a Marvin Mims believer the entire time last year. I was pounding the table to get him rolling. I think he's ready to take another step. And he's somebody that I feel like can cook. But there's a lot of really interesting things when you look at the history of Sean Payton, and I can put some numbers together for y'all and share them. I wrote a few down here. But in all of the years where Sean Payton's, teams had a ton of success in New Orleans, right? The 13-3, the 12-5 seasons, the 12-4 seasons, going to the NFC Championship games and Super Bowls and all that. And every single one of those years, only one wide receiver was top 4 on the entire team in receiving. In 2019, Michael Thomas obviously led the team with 149 catches. Second was Alvin Kamara. The next wide receiver was 35 catches. I forgot the name of the dude. I had it pulled up, but it went away. But it wasn't anybody that was that good. In 2018, Michael Thomas, 125 catches. Second was Alvin Kamara with 81. Third, Ted Ginn Jr., 41. All right, 2017, Thomas, the leader. Kamara and Ingram were the number 2 and number 3 in terms of receivers. The 2 running backs, Ginn Jr. again was 4th, the second wide receiver overall. There really hasn't been a season except for a couple in those 4 and 9 years where 2 receivers were actually the leading pass catchers on the offense. That being said, just look at it historically, right? And before Michael Thomas was there, it was always Daniel Graham as, the number 1. And then Pierre Thomas would be like the number 2 pass catcher, or then it was Daniel Graham and then Darren Sproles. And then the year before that, it was Daniel Graham and then Darren Sproles again. It's rare that you have two receivers really dominate. Like the way that it was kind of broken down this year with Courtland Sutton dominating the amount of, catches and the team overall in terms of catches and yards is actually very reminiscent of what all of Sean Payton's offenses have looked like. So, when you look at it, that really just makes it, more clear than ever that the biggest needs for this team are to find a joker, in whether that's a running back or a tight end. Tight end's the biggest need on this team. Running back is probably 3rd behind inside linebacker, but on this offense, it's for sure those 2 positions because he heavily relies on those guys to be able to be factors out of the pass game, whether it be a tight end, a running back, or in many cases, both. Because to give you guys an idea, in 2011 and 2010, Jimmy Graham was the leader, led the team in receptions, and second place was Darren Sproles. And Marcus Colston was 3rd, believe it or not. He's a really good player. So that's just what's utilized a lot. That's just how he kind of rolls as a head coach. He also rarely goes with the 3-back sets. I mean, he really doesn't. It's a lot of – he'll have a 1A and a 1B, and the 1B will get 35 to 40% of the snaps. But it's really just those 2 guys total. So I think when you look at the Broncos overall, as a team in terms of the way that the roster is constructed, yeah, we need to revamp the entire running back room, and we need to revamp the entire tight end room for a lot of different reasons, but more importantly because of the fit or the lack of fit that they have with somebody like a Sean Payton. But let me know what y'all think, man. Do you feel like A.T. Perry is somebody that can realistically have a very big role on the team this year? I personally believe he definitely can. I think the Broncos are really just interested in seeing, okay, what can they get out of Franklin? What can they get out of Vele? But next year, it's going to be a clean slate for everybody, right? Vele and Franklin are no longer rookies. They've played more football in the NFL than A.T. Perry has. A.T. Perry's on this team. He's going to go out there and get himself an opportunity. Marvin Mims is going to have to go out there and ball, and then whoever we end up ultimately bringing in free agency or in the draft. So it's going to be interesting to break down, but just keep your tabs out on A.T. Perry, man. This is somebody that I think is going to make some noise. So Broncos country, let me know what you know below. And until next time, man, don't forget to spend time with those that you love the most, guys. Go Broncos. Take it easy. And until then, peace out.